Hey y'all, how you doing? It is Monday evening. I am in Colorado enjoying the last bit of the sun and the heat, this later evening time, dinner time. And I'm anticipating part 2 of my podcast. Not performance, why can't I think of the word? Anyway, it's been a fun week to receive feedback from folks. I've reached out to folks specifically asking for feedback on how part 1 landed, and I really appreciate all the feedback that I have received, and I really appreciate the reminder that this is part of the work as well, that learning, integration, and then trying it out is part of the cycle that will continue to happen. And I feel like I have done some good work. My work is not done at all by any means, but I also feel like I've built up some muscle to be ready for, or not ready for, but just in humility and in the name of being anti-racist, ready for feedback. And knowing that maybe my heart will race and maybe my spine will go offline a little bit, but also I will be okay and I will make it through that. It's part of my journey as a white person, is to be able to be in discomfort. And not that I was in discomfort all week, but just when I first got the message that it was being posted, I got nervous, as I had mentioned earlier in a story. And you just don't know how your words are potentially going to impact, how they're going to land and fall, and how others are going to experience it. And so, as someone who greatly wants to be less oppressive and as inclusive as possible, I really value being careful, not careful, but value being curious about the language that I use, and when I might not be using the right language, quote unquote. But just, I guess, in the name of feedback, being willing to receive it in any way that it comes. But I've shared it with a lot of folks, with friends and family, and folks who I deem as my mentors in this work, who again just gave a lot of really good positive feedback. And but I also was trying to hold the fact that, as a white person, you might not always receive feedback either, that not getting that affirmation is okay, and actually shouldn't be why I am doing the work. I shouldn't be looking to receive a cookie, a gold star, some sort of reprieve to potential discomfort of just not knowing if I did it right or not. So also just holding myself in that, but also, again, immensely grateful for what I have received in terms of feedback. And so, in the light of receiving feedback, in the name of wanting to be transparent and just here for any and all of this, I wanted to share with you 2 things that stuck out to me in terms of if I could go back, or if I could change what I said, or not even that. Going forward, this is what I'm going to make sure that I also include in taking steps forward. Is one, at the beginning of the podcast, it was stated that this subject is what's up. And I was reminded to just even question that as a belief or as a thought, because, again, as white people, maybe that is what's up. That is a new thing for you, for me, for us, to talk about race, to understand that race is a social construct, that race is a thing to even think about. And so it is a subject that is up for white people specifically right now. It's not up now, just now, for people of color. It's been something they've experienced for hundreds of years. So just wanting to put that out there in terms of just, yeah, that was a learning, something that was pointed out to me, and I think, yeah, a valid thing to think about. And then two, was also the conversation that was being had in terms of just talking about the default of whiteness and naming it. So the fact that we name others around us, but we don't name ourselves as white, and how that is really triggering for a lot of white people. So to go further with that idea, it's not necessarily just to name whiteness, or that is a white woman, or that is a white man, but to also continue to push further and consider yourself in the experience that you're always having. So when I mentioned naming the race of the space, also considering, reflecting, remaining curious about what's happening in your body and what experience you're having in that moment as a white person, as a person with white skin, with a white body. Depending on the situation or scenario you're in, you'll experience various things, and that's part of our work, is to know our triggers, to know when harmful patterns or harmful narratives are showing up and giving us an experience that's not true. So the idea of potentially going into the city and locking car doors or clutching purses. Why are you doing that? Going into a space and potentially believing certain things about people because of their skin color, because of the clothes they're wearing, because of the ethnicity that you are potentially identifying them as. And why are you identifying them as that? So again, not just naming and pushing that default of whiteness, but also really getting curious about, what is my racial experience in this right now? Yeah. As a white person, what is my body doing? As a white person, what are the thoughts or beliefs or narratives that are popping up in my head, that are cycling through my head? Do I believe them? Maybe not. But why are they still there? Or where did that come from? Why are those still cycling? And how can I continue to push back or create a different narrative that is here, inevitably. So again, that idea that I can still be a good person, I can still be someone who wants to be a part of the movement, who wants to be anti-racist, and I'm still potentially going to have thoughts, beliefs, experiences rise up in my body. And maybe you are better and better over time able to decipher, ooh, what the hell is that? Where did that come from? And not believe it or not act on it. But there are potential times, especially under stress, that is not the case. And always just finding so much grace for ourselves in all of it. And finding ways to continue to engage and to talk and to practice and to communicate and reflect and remain curious and stay engaged in the discomfort of all of it. So I also wanted to come on here and restate that I'm here for you, that we need each other in this work, white people need each other in this work, and it's part of the work that I want to support folks in as a coach, as a Reiki practitioner. I'm here to be a space holder, a question asker, to really help folks on this awareness journey, on attempting to be better human beings, to reconnecting to our human, to rehumanize ourselves, to decolonize ourselves. And I'm here for it all. I'm still in it, and I would love to continue to support others in it as well. So look out for part 2 of Go Fuck Yourself. Love, light, and go fuck yourself. And if you haven't listened to part 1, please go listen. Please send me your feedback, your questions, your concerns, and see you later. Have a good rest of your evening.